All right, let's talk a little bit about internal control systems. One way we can think about controls is as a hierarchy of layers of protection. And each layer covers more or less of the organization. So we start off with what we call the control environment. And this applies to the whole organization. All the policies, all the procedures that kind of show the organization's position with regard to internal controls and their commitment to internal controls. All right, so that's the control environment. Then we get down to what we call pervasive control plans. So here you can see the diagram with the umbrellas. That's the middle umbrella that covers the organization as well, and it focuses on processes all over the organization. So these are things that are consistent throughout the organization as well. We're starting to implement the actual controls themselves rather than having a set of policies and procedures, our organizational commitments. So down here in the plans, we actually have specific controls. From an IT perspective, we've got what are called IT general controls. These would be the controls that apply no matter what you're doing in the IT environment of that organization. So here at Ole Miss, for example, IT general controls would include our Ole Miss password, an ID that we have to use to log into everything. We have an ID that we carry around with us, and that ID allows us to do certain things throughout the campus and throughout the university. So that would be a general organizational control. I can swipe my card, I can get into some buildings, I can't get into other buildings. Of course, I've got money loaded onto it as well, and different campus facilities make use of that. All right, so we've got pervasive controls that apply throughout, and they don't have to be technology oriented, the ones that are outside IT general controls. So just the fact that we have locks on the buildings, and that we have a policy for when buildings are open and when they're closed on, various weekends and holidays and game day weekends and so forth. All right, so pervasive control plans. Next, at a smaller level, then we get down to what we call the business process control plans. So these are controls that apply to specific business processes, and here we're getting into the applications themselves. You may have had a chance to work with SAP, and you were exposed to some of the application controls there. So SAP allows you to do certain things. It doesn't allow you to do other things. You may have had restrictions on the size of a dollar amount you could put in, on account numbers that you could key into a journal entry, and so forth. So all of those are considered application controls, and they apply to business processes. Now, you may have some separation of duty controls that are part of your business process controls as well, and they can be built into the IT. So you can set up separation of duties and allowable activities in your ERP, right in SAP, or you may have them set up in your organization policy manual where certain people are supposed to do certain things, and if an amount is over a certain dollar amount, then a supervisor has to get involved. All right, so we've got different levels of controls throughout the organization. Some of the key objectives we're trying to accomplish with the control system is, one, we want to safeguard assets in the organization. We want to, from an accounting perspective, make sure that our accounting data is accurate and reliable. So we've got some checks built in to our controls. Operational efficiency is another objective that is a significant, that's important to controls. And then finally, probably the most important objective of internal controls is that they should be designed to enforce management policies. Whatever management's policies are, the controls should be designed to enforce them and ensure that they're followed.